Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Millionaire Migrant. Today is going to be a little bit different. I brought in two of my highly experienced colleagues to talk about a recent case study we had of an American client, West Coast, who was looking for a bulletproof exit plan. Hi, this is Jeremy from Millionaire Migrant. Here we talk about everything around wealth creation, wealth preservation, and all the strategies around internationalization that you need to know today. Today, I'm going to introduce you to Placid and Irena, who are my immigration and tax leads, respectively. And we're going to talk about a case study of a single man living in California that we have helped provide a foolproof, bulletproof solution about exiting in a tax-efficient and smooth and seamless strategy to be able to set himself up globally and in the most tax-efficient strategy too. So this chap here was paying 45% in taxes. This is state and federal, which is what it is in California. So I'm going to start with Irena, who is red-eyed coming in from overseas recently, and but she's bright and fully on it this morning, and she's going to tell us exactly what happened with this client. So we've got this client now. What's his situation?
The client is single, no wife, no kids, lives in California. He currently pays around 55% of taxes. So
55?
45.
45. Yeah, all right. Well, that's
much better.
yeah, much better, yeah.
So he pays, out of that, it's like 15% maybe state, 30% federal, something. He's in the highest bracket, basically. When I talked to him, he said he has around 4 million of net worth currently at the moment, out of which 3 million is in real estate, 1 million is like crypto, stocks, and some other investments. Not something serious, but his plans to get more involved into that. When we talked, he said, "You know what? I would like to go out. I don't want to be a U.S. citizen anymore. I don't want to pay taxes to the U.S. But I'm not ready to leave yet." The reason why is because his parents are 98 years old,
okay.
99. And he basically doesn't want to leave yet because they need help and everything. So he's looking to escape the U.S. tax system. He's looking not to be a U.S. Citizen anymore. Just a matter of time when it will happen. So we had to basically craft a blueprint for him, which would be what we need to do at the moment and what we need to do X number of years from now in order to basically get him where he wanted to be.
Okay, all right then. And what did you discuss with him? So you mentioned, obviously we'll come with Placid on the residency, but what was the tax thing,
Yes. So first thing that we discussed was because he wants to go out of the US, right? But he doesn't know when, because it can be in a year, it can be in 5 years, it can be in 10 years, God knows when. We need to slowly start moving our money out of the US. So we just diversified when it comes to the bank accounts. So we opened a couple of bank accounts. We opened in Georgia. We opened in Portugal. He had a personal regular currency account in Portugal. He had an investment account later that was.
What's his net worth?
Sorry?
What's his net worth?
It's currently 4 million.
Right. How's that broken down?
3 million into real estate. So 2 million one property, 1 million another property, and 1 million in crypto, stocks, and something that he plans on getting more. But he's expecting an inheritance from his parents.
Fine. Okay.
So that will be something that we will have to keep an eye on. The reason why is because of the exit tax. So even with the current net worth, he qualifies to pay an exit tax upon technically departing the US, which can be quite high. We cannot calculate how much he would pay now because it will depend on the value of those properties at the day when he renounced. So it's impossible to predict, right? We don't know where it will be 5 years from now, but we know that it will be a lot. So in order to there are certain strategies that we always do when it comes to reducing someone's net worth or not making them qualified for the exit tax so that they are non-covered expatriate, how we call it. The first strategy that's always the easiest one is the gifting. We do the gifting to our spouse or gift exclusion or something like that. But since this client is not married, we are not able to do that. So actually, what I was thinking about and told him is that you think that you came too early, and as a matter of fact, you came too late. The reason why is because there is a strategy that we could do with incorporating the foreign trust, where the foreign trust is technically an irrevocable non-grantor trust. What does that mean? Irrevocable means irrevocable. He cannot take those assets back. A non-grantor, which means that technically that trust is the tax person for itself. It's separate completely from him. So what happens is that after the period of when we put those assets into that trust, the IRS looks at those assets as his assets for the next period of 5 years. After 5 years, the IRS no longer says that those are your assets and you are no longer liable. They're not considered as part of your net worth, but it's the trust net worth, and the trust pays tax on it, not you.
I have a question. So we're talking about trust. So we're talking Cook Island
Yes.
trust, right? Okay. Any reason why Cook Island over Nevis?
Nevis is usually better, and I usually recommend it when it comes to businesses. So if you want to protect the business from from
litigation
anything,
and all that stuff, yeah.
Cook Islands is more suitable for really investments,
Assets, yeah.
real estates, like crypto, everything. Cook Islands is usually the better place for that.
Right. So you mentioned you had a property in California. So there you have property taxes, which are based on the value of the property, which
Yes.
is, every year is there. How does that work when it's in a Cook Island trust?
So technically, what happens is that because the trust, it's a non-grantor trust, so that means the trust pays tax on it. So he's not personally paying tax on it. The tax will be there anyways, but so he will pay that tax one way or another. The point is that on paper, his net worth is technically 1 million in the end. So he's not paying that exit tax. Obviously, the inheritance can be an issue because if he gets the inheritance, we'll have to double check, see what's the status, how much is his net worth. Crypto can go up to the roof. His net worth can go up, and that's the thing with crypto. I remember we have one client who had crypto. We had to tell him, we had everything ready for like 4 months and we were just waiting. And when the moment that the crypto went down, we were like, tomorrow you're announcing. And the client just booked it and just went like, okay, we booked the appointment. He went, why?
Yeah.
Because they look at the assets at the day when you're renounced.
Yeah.
So you can renounce tomorrow.
Unrealized gain. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. What about on the immigration/residency side?
Yeah, so part of his blueprint was to design something for immigration as a long-term exit plan for him because, he was not looking for something like immediate solution, but eventually he would want to renounce his citizenship like Irena just mentioned. So what we designed for him in terms of immigration and residency was to give him a Portuguese Golden Visa. We thought of giving him like the Maltese citizenship, but since he was not looking for something like immediate, and also because the program in Malta was we're not too sure if it will end or it will still continue.
Yeah.
So we thought a better option would be to give him the Portuguese Golden Visa one, which
fund
would
did he
require
do?
him. He
Which
did
fund?
the hospitality fund.
Hospitality fund, okay.
So it would require him to invest 500,000 euros into a fund in Portugal, get a golden visa, come to Portugal just 7 days every year for 5 years, and eventually he'll be able to apply for a Portuguese citizenship. So that option was great for him because, we also had to open him a Portuguese bank account because that's one of the requirements. Like, Irena mentioned that we had to open bank accounts in different countries. We got him a Portuguese bank account set up. He was able to transfer his funds from the US to the Portuguese bank account, and then from there it got subscribed to the fund. And also because he has plans to renounce his citizenship in the future, and for the renunciation process, he needs to have a residency outside of the US, and he does not have like a property in Portugal. He does not have any residency in Portugal.
No utility bills.
Utility bills. So we had to look for another plan B for him, just in case he wanted to renounce before or the 5 years, because with Portugal things take a little bit of time. They say 5 years, but you don't know when you do actually do your submission. It might take quite some time as well for you to get a passport.
But it counts from the 5 years counts from the point of submission, right? So
the 5 years counts from the time of submission.
Yeah.
But it doesn't guarantee that you'll be getting your passport on the 5th year when you submit, because when you put your application in, that's just to put your application in. You don't know how long it will take for you to actually get a passport, because I know friends who've submitted their application in Portugal for citizenship. 3 years down the line, they're still waiting. So if he wanted to renounce maybe 3 years from now and he doesn't have a passport and he's stuck with a US passport, no other passport to renounce and hold on to another one, right? So we had to at least give him a plan B just in case.
It's like 8 years? So like they've been waiting for like full on
Yeah,
8
so
years?
5 years and then you submit and then you wait for like 2 more years or 3 more years. So that higher.
Okay, we get a lot of clients who say, oh, it's taking a long time. We have processed hundreds of families just for Portugal alone. And I get that they're all super happy with it. And I get that they are fully committed to the program. But they still complain about the timelines. But I also tell them, it's like, well, what was the alternative? Not to do it at all, or to do Malta where you donate, 850 plus.
Yeah.
Or do Greece or do something else. It's like, in the end, for those clients, that was the only option that you were there. So you're just going to have to take your time. And by the way, that money is invested. It is giving you a return. You should have had that money outside of your home country anyway. It's in euros. Everyone has too much diversification into dollars or dollar denominated. It's like it's in another country geographically. It's in another asset class potentially. It's in another currency. It's working towards something. You could have put that money back home in your own bank account, and it's not going to lead you anywhere near a European citizenship, regardless of how long it is. So I tell clients, it's like, this was a good reason. For the same 4 or 5 reasons, you should have done it anyway, and you will always realize that you should have done it. It's only when they pick up the passport that they really, truly understand the patience that was involved.
Yeah, of course. It's true that the Portuguese Golden Visa process takes time. Everyone knows about it. But there's no doubt that it's one of the best Golden Visa programs that are available, or that is available outside for investors, for so many reasons. I mean, the 7 days every year thing, you don't have to stay too much if you don't want to stay in Portugal. And also, it's the only passport program in Europe right now, or the Golden Visa that lists citizenship in 5 years. And there's no other option that you can do right now in the EU. So, I mean, in as much as the process takes time, the good news is you can still submit for your citizenship from the time when you do the application itself, not waiting until you get a residency card. And second of all, you're getting returns on your investment, of course, which makes a difference. In as much as it's not that much, but it's still something at the end of the day. You're getting a passport, returns, and the rest.
By the way, when you're saying it's not that much, I'm glad you said that, because some of these fun guys just saying, I met one of them in, it was California, I think it was Los Angeles. And he just said, we're getting 17% return a year. Mate, I'm really happy for you. That's great and everything, but I am not going to go to my client and say, put your money in this, you're going to get 17%. I want something blended. I want something low risk. If you want, diversify as much as you want, but we can't be going around saying to people that, what is it, like mom and pop businesses or antique cars or whatever you want to do. I just want something that's blended. People, investors don't do these type of programs to make money. They do, however they got here, they made money that's obviously working for them. They understand it better. They're better at it, and they put more capital towards it. This has to be low risk from the beginning. I don't see people going in with this alpha mindset saying, I'm going to make loads of money in my golden visa in Portugal. But coming back to that point, I also want to emphasize as well that there's no geographical requirement, right? Sorry, there's no physical requirement. So this is another thing about Portugal. It's like if you want to go to the UK and get it, go to UK, live there for 6 years, try and enjoy it.
They've increased to 10, so
10 now, right? Yeah, okay. So, we did another video about UK, less said the better. But at the same time, it's like, go and do 10 years there. And by the way, pay taxes for 10 years. Here, you will not be a tax resident. But, okay, so this guy, he did Portugal, but I understand he also did Paraguay, I think, right?
Yeah.
Why did he do Paraguay? He could have gone and lived in Portugal. Just because you're doing the Golden Visa and it only requires 1 week every year, you can also live there as well if you wanted to.
I mean, because like Irena just mentioned, his circumstances could change 2 years, 3 years down the line because he wasn't too sure about what he wanted to do exactly. But his long-term plan was to renounce his U.S. citizenship. So in order for him to renounce his U.S. citizenship, he needed to have an address outside of the U.S. But
that could have been in Portugal. He can also live there and do the Golden Visa.
But his plan was not to leave. And Paraguay, of course, is closer to the US than Portugal is.
So
he could go to Paraguay from time to time, I mean, if he wanted to. So he would rather have an address in Paraguay than have it in Portugal. And also it's cheaper to live in Paraguay.
Well, listen, Portugal is cheap. I mean, it's not as cheap as Paraguay. No. But I know getting to Asuncion from the US is not as easy as getting to Lisbon. But I think it's mainly for him, it was a combination of factors, time zone, and, there's a lot. It
does not require any investment as well.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I mean, that's the most important
tax.
part.
Yeah. The NHR 2.0 is not as nice as the old one, but tax. Right. Yeah. There you go.
So he did that mainly because he wanted to have a residency outside of the US, have his utility bills, no investment whatsoever. And 3 years down the line, he could maybe apply for citizenship in Paraguay if he wanted to.
Only 3 years.
It's not a requirement. I don't think maybe he wanted to have that. But just in case he wanted to do that and then renounce his U.S. citizenship, he will at least have something while waiting for the Portuguese one.
Okay. So, because you're right. 3 years is better. And then afterwards, you can start the renunciation. And then by the time you get Portugal, you could end up with 2, even 3 if you get the American one. Yeah, right. And geographically diversified. What's the tax situation in Paraguay?
Paraguay is actually pretty great. That's one of the reasons on why this is where immigration meets the tax. That's why we decided that Paraguay would be a good solution, because Paraguay has a territorial tax system. So like anything that you earn outside of Paraguay, It's not taxed. Anything that you make in Paraguay is taxed. However, what's great about Paraguay is that they would grant you citizenship even though if you don't live there necessarily. You have to have some ties, but one of the ties that we recommend is pay some tax. Like, make some money in Paraguay and just pay that small amount of tax, because you show them the tax bill, they're like, oh, this guy's paying taxes. Like they'll give you citizenship after that period of 3 years. So Paraguay is pretty great. And no investment. It's so easy. You did a video about that, right?
Paraguay, I really like Paraguay, and I think it's something that when you look at it compared to all the other programs, it's really got a lot going for it in terms of, like you said, zero money down, very fast, paper residency, self-sustainable country, a lot of opportunities, definitely because price is very affordable. I think you're going to see, in much the same way you've got expats, especially on North America and European, coming to Colombia. At some point, those people are going to start migrating down to Paraguay. Once you start to see the airline access improve, you're going to see a lot of pickups. So I think there's a lot of opportunities. That's why I'm going there in August. One thing I want to run by you is that you say this guy's got a net worth 4 million. 3 million is in real estate, on which he's paying taxes on the income and the asset value as well in California. I don't know what it is in New York. Then afterwards, he's got 500K, which he's put in the fund in Portugal plus the associated fees. Yeah. He's there for 500,000 euros to sustain himself. Paraguay's cheap. Right, I get that, but 500,000, which has to remain the capital, so he needs to generate returns from this. I mean, is he some kind of like wizard, mathematical wizard, or is he mining crypto in Paraguay? Because I know that they have a lot of energy down there. Like, I hope this guy's got a plan. We're not financial advisors, by the way.
So so the 1 million that he has, which was from crypto and from stocks, out of which 500K he put into the fund. Number one, he's working constantly on it, and he's hoping that it will go up. Apart from that, he's getting the rental income from the properties that he has, and to pretty high properties. I'm not a pretty high return. I'm not sure exactly, but I'd say around 20%, maybe 15.
I want to have a chat with this
15. Guy. Maybe 15. I'm not 100% sure. But he's getting pretty high returns. Obviously, he pays rental tax on that, so some parts goes on that. But apart from that, he's also expecting the inheritance. So the biggest problem is that this guy has it all set up and planned in advance. Like, he has the passport after 5 years. He has a plan B in 3 years if he wants to. He has a tax-friendly place to go to. He has bank accounts. He has lower net worth than the exit tax. He has it all perfect. But what happens in 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the plan is good. I'd say you guys did a good job on this. I mean, I'm a bit biased, obviously, but I think it's a good plan. I think I like all these components. I'm just a little bit concerned. But again, what options did he really have? I mean, look, the one thing because if you think about it, if you want to get that part of Portuguese citizenship, you could do Italy, 250,000. I would say that's probably easier that in terms of a language component. But after how many years can you apply for language in Italy?
10 years. So you only apply for citizenship after 10 years, and you can apply for permanent residency after 5 years. Yeah. But the difference with Portugal and Italy is you have to physically live in Italy, become a tax resident for 6 months every year, which of course, that's not his plan. His plan is to be with his parents, maybe come to Portugal from time to time, which is just 7 days, like going for like a summer vacation or something, rather than maybe doing the Golden Visa in Italy, which will.
And by the way, if he is going to do Italy, but not only that, if he's going to be resident there, then he doesn't want to be taxed, he'd have to do the lump sum, which is 200,000 euros a year, and he's barely even got that, to be honest with you, right? So, I mean, if he's watching this, like, no, don't get me wrong, you did a good job. You just are. I think he's going all in on this, and I think, and look, by the way, if I had to think of a low-cost place to live, but also get those benefits of tax and a passport, Paraguay, I don't know many other places that give you that stuff.
If the NHR was still alive, the first one, that would be.
I did that one. Like, that was an absolute dream. That one. But this is what we're trying to tell people, and I think we'll sum up this. Thank you very much, guys. But this is what we're trying to tell people: it's like better be a year early than a day too late. You know, the NHR has closed. You've got Italy used to be 100,000 euros for the lump sum. It's 200,000 euros. Spain is closed. Now you've got Malta, which is on the ropes a little bit.
On the edge,
So, guys, get your plan together, start moving things, you know, especially in terms of, exit tax and renunciations. This all takes time and preparation. Don't come to us at the last minute like these people in calling us the last 10 days about Malta saying, right, I'm ready now. It's like, oh, you saw the news, now you want to do it? Okay, fine. So please, I hope that this video of this case study that we have had has been helpful. If you'd like us to do more case studies with different scenarios, let us know in the comments. Thanks very much for your watching. We'll see you in the next video.